Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jessica Harrington. Tonight on the Now Bakersfield, Kern County has sent hundreds of our local veterans on trips to Washington, D.C. to see monuments through honor flights. And this morning, the organization was presented with a very large surprise. Hear about this moment of human kindness. And an interim city manager has been named for McFarland. Their current city manager now officially missing for more than a week. We'll tell you who's stepping up in his absence. That's all ahead on the Now Bakersfield. Chris?
Topping our lineup here on the Now, a majority of the public housing in this country was built in the 1970s, even earlier than that. We're taking a look at the impact a proposal to cut funding for repairs would have. And an actor's run-in with an Amazon driver. It's bringing up questions about the people dropping off our packages, how the company is trying to clear up confusion. And families in areas that don't have access to fresh produce are getting new help. We're checking out the effort to get community gardens in more food deserts.
Good evening. Memorial Day is just around the corner. It's a day of reflection where we remember the countless men and women who gave their lives in service to our country. Today, a large donation was made to a local organization that honors veterans that are still with us. The Now's Leslie Gooden has more on this moment of human kindness.
This weekend marks the 7th anniversary of Honor Flight Kern County, and today they celebrate another first, a record-breaking donation. For many veterans, embarking on a trip to the war memorials in Washington, D.C. is life-changing, a trip on which they finally receive a welcome home. For the past 7 years, Honor Flight Kern County has sent hundreds of veterans on the trip at no cost to the veterans. And now they say they will be able to send even more.
When we found out it was $65,000, we were all in a state of shock. And we found out when everybody else did. We had no idea what was coming.
On Thursday, Honor Flight received their largest single donation to date, totaling $65,250 from Braun Electric and Diversified Construction Solutions. Lily Marsh, director of Honor Flight Kern County, says that this money will cover half of the cost for their upcoming charter flight in October that will take 160 people.
These people that donated the money are personally responsible for that. So everyone that participated in that tournament and helped them out to raise this money, it's just, we can't thank them enough.
The money was raised through a sporting clay event held in April. Kevin Blankship, Braun Electric's vice president, says he was inspired to give to the organization after escorting his father-in-law on an honor flight.
This sporting clay suit to give to Honor Flight was, just a little bit over $55,000, and then Braun Electric and DCS added another $5,000 each, bringing us to $65,250.
As for Honor Flight, they say this donation has removed a large burden off of their shoulders.
We expected to take this charter in October, and we knew it would drain the bank, and we were struggling of ways to think how that could not happen or how we would build it back up. But this takes care of half that flight, so we're good to go.
Honor Flight says that they're only able to exist because of multiple small donations, but this one will have a greater impact. Now, if you know someone who's done something great for others, let us know at turn23.com under our Human Kindness tab so we can share their story. For the Now, Leslie Gooden, 23 ABC, connecting you.
The McFarland City Council met tonight, the first meeting since city manager John Wooner was reported missing. Tonight, the council appointed an interim city manager to help in his absence. McFarland City Manager John Wooner was last seen on May 14th here in Bakersfield, and police say his disappearance is considered suspicious. Tonight, the McFarland City Council appointed interim chief of police Janet Davis to also fill the position of interim city manager until Wooner's disappearance gets resolved. If you have any information on the whereabouts of John Wooner, you are urged to call Bakersfield Police at 327-7111. JobFest career fairs have been making stops all around Kern County for weeks, and this morning the Career Expo made a stop in Taft. Hundreds of job seekers were out this morning for JobFest, which is hosted by the Kern County Department of Human Services. There were dozens of employers in attendance representing the fields of agriculture, customer service, law enforcement, the armed forces, energy, and more. Some people even scored on-the-spot interviews. Organizers say there's a common misconception that there are no open jobs here in Kern County, but that's not true. People just need to know where to look.
There's a lot of job seekers that just go online, walking around just every day. People are saying nobody's hiring, and there's almost everybody's hiring. It's just you need to know where to look. So we're just trying to help bridge that gap and just help this is our community. We're growing up here. Our kids are growing up here. We want to help everybody out.
This morning's Job Fest was the second to last for the year. The final Job Fest will be held next month in Delano on Thursday, June 13th. Job Fest is free to attend. An East Bakersfield park could soon be getting a makeover thanks to state grants, and today a meeting was held to hear what changes the community would want to see at the Virginia Avenue Park. County officials say the money would be coming from Prop 68, which has about $1 billion available for parks across the state. Officials say Kern County is going after 5 grants, which would help bring changes to the East Bakersfield Park. People came together to discuss what amenities they would like the park to have, the most popular of which is a spray park area. The deadline for the grant application is August 5th, and we'll find out if Kern County was awarded the grant around September or October.
More than 2.5 million people live in public housing. A proposal by the Trump administration would cut funding for repairs to those aging homes, and Corey Rangel's taking a look at the potential impact.
It is a stark look inside some of the nation's public housing. Crumbling walls, water-damaged ceilings, floors lined with mouse traps.
It's just disgusting how we have to live.
Patricia Bishop lives at this public housing property in D.C. for 14 years. She says she has steadily seen conditions get worse.
The mold, the rats, the mildew. Oh, it is just filthy and disgusting. We're humans, but we are being treated like trash.
In some cases, conditions are so bad, residents are forced to leave. Mold drove out the people who lived here. In D.C. alone, there are 2,600 other units just like this one, unlivable for tenants.
When you don't have enough funding, all you can do is move forward with Band-Aid approaches.
Tyrone Garrett oversees public housing in D.C. He says the federal government has cut funding the past 10 years, making conditions worse.
I wouldn't want a family member of mine, my mother, my brother, my sister, my father, or my grandmother live in conditions like this. Any more drastic cuts to what we're doing, and there'll be major impacts to our families, more than what we've seen here today.
The Trump administration argues a different approach is needed. It thinks tax breaks will motivate private developers to help renovate these properties and invest in low-income communities.
Our actions will directly